Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna make you eat. Are you hungry? Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. Welcome to Conversations with Cassie. And we have a very special guest today. We have Miss Amber from Amber and Dan's Carnivore Life, and she will be joining us here in a moment. I just wanted to say hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. This is sure to be a good time and have a little conversation with a fellow carnivore who is on the same journey and doing the same thing as us. So, good morning, everybody. I am going to bring on Miss Amber right now. So, will we all give a great big, as you all know how to do, Carnivore Quest? Welcome to Amber.
Good morning.
Maybe. Hey, Mama, you there? I see
I'm here.
There we go. Hello. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. This is so exciting. So this is our second one, and you are my first guest. So this is going to be amazing.
I'm honored.
Oh, well, I'm honored to have you on. Thank you so much for giving us some time. I know it's really early over there, and I'm not sure how early do you normally wake up? Is this
5:30.
Oh, so you're in your prime.
Yeah, I got to beat the heat here if I want to get my walks in.
Yeah, what's the
what the triple digits?
What a triple?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be 108 today.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we were walking at night, and it doesn't start cooling down till the sun goes down at 8 o'clock, and then it's too dark. I don't like the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I just been making myself get up early. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm up before everybody else, so I have my peace,
Your me time.
Yes.
People, at least women, we need that. I need my me time. Sometimes I just need to be alone just so I can be in my own thoughts,
Yes.
Okay. Well, Miss Amber, for those of you who don't know, Amber and her husband, Dan, have been on a journey for the last 5 years, trying to regain control of their health. Dan was type 2 diabetic. You know what? Actually, Amber, why don't you please tell the audience, give everybody a brief breakdown of your journey?
Ooh, a brief one. Okay.
You can make it as long. We got time.
So it started about 10 years ago, January of 2012. My husband got real sick. We took him to the emergency room. We found out he was, his blood sugar was like 572. He was DKA, or for those that don't know, diabetic ketoacidosis, where he was producing too much acid, blood ketones. I forget the whole the whole medical part about it. But anyway, in the ICU for 9 days, in the hospital 2 weeks total.
Wow. And
from then on, it was a constant struggle to try to get his blood sugar down. We can never get his blood sugar down. It was always up in the 300s. And of course, this was before everybody really knew about the keto diet and about the carnivore diet and all that. So we just did what nutritionists and doctors told us to do, was just don't eat sugar. So we were still making, pastas and breads and things like that. His blood sugar would never go down. And it was getting to the point where he would take 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day. And there was a few times where he had to go back into the hospital and get on the insulin drip. And it wasn't until when my son was playing football about 5.5 years ago, one of the coaches and his wife, they started doing the keto diet, and they started noticing a lot of weight loss. So I decided to try it. And as I was doing more and more research, came across Dr. Barry, and then I started watching his channel and all of his information on diabetes and everything, and how he really promoted the keto diet. So I started Dan on the keto diet. And within 2 weeks of being on the keto diet and just taking his metformin, completely taking the carbs out, the sugars out. Well, the sugars were already gone, but the carbs and everything, all the junk food, we were eating clean keto. His blood sugars went from in the upper 300s down to 127 in just a couple weeks time. And then, of course, from that mark and then till now, it was a constant up and down struggle, going in, jumping in and out of the wagon, because with the keto diet and all those new keto foods they were introducing on the market, just made you want the other stuff. So it's like, well, why would I want to go get this when I can go have chips and salsa, or why would I want this when I could just have, a cupcake, whatever. And it wasn't until we discovered Cassie and Larry last year. We started our journey January of this year. We started out KETOVORE. And after a few months, until we hit Triple B and E in April with Cassie and Larry's channel and the challenge that they had, we decided the KETOVORE wasn't really the way to go either. So we've been straight carnivore since April. And so we've yet to see the scale drop, but I have noticed that my clothes feel looser. My sleep has been getting better. Like I would have never gotten up at 5:30 in the morning to go take a 2-mile walk. I never would have done that before carnivore. And my sleep is better. My woman problems have been getting a lot better. I have been suffering with premenopause since last year, and I haven't had a hot flash since March. And we're in the middle of summer here in the desert heat in the triple digits, and I have not had a hot flash since March.
I'd like to know your secret, because that is not working for this Italian mama over here. My gosh.
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing the carnivore diet. I take collagen every day. I get it at Walmart over the counter, and I take a biotin every day, and that's it.
Really?
That's all I put in my body. And then meat and fat. That's it.
So what are you taking the biotin for, just out of curiosity?
Well, because I've been losing hair by the clumps. And I think carnivore has a lot to do with it before I took the biotin, but my nails would never grow. They would always break off. They were brittle, and they were just, anytime I hit my nail on something, it would immediately break it, and I could never grow out my nails. They were never strong enough. And now it's like this, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the longest my nails have been in a long time, unless I have acrylics on. So that's one big benefit too, is that my skin feels softer. I don't have to use, I have very dry skin. I don't have to use lotion like I used to. My joints, oh my gosh. So my arthritis, I have the cartilage in my knees is going out. And before, I couldn't even walk up and down stairs because of the weird, it wasn't painful, but it was just a weird, odd feeling. If anybody knows how I feel, drop that in the comments right now. But now I can do kettlebell swings, no problem. Like I didn't used to do those, and I can do 30 of those and still feel great. And then I've been doing, I'll do 30 squats a day. I can do those, no problem. I still have to hold on to the kitchen counter to balance myself, but I'm doing them, without the pain in my knees. So, I just tell people, it's like, for the longest time, I would get so impatient, with it. Like, why am I not dropping weight? Why do I not feel this way? It's because I was not carnivore yet. When I said we thought we found our magic pill at the beginning with the keto. Well, this is actually the magic pill that you need. You don't have to pay anybody to go on a diet. You don't have to do any pyramid schemes or anything like that. You just go to the store, you buy meat and butter. That's it. That's all you need in your life to feel good and feel better and get your health back. And so we have a doctor's appointment at the end of August, and we'll be getting our blood work done to see if we've reversed our type 2 diabetes, which has been our number one goal. And like I told you before, Dan has not taken a metformin since, I think it was before the Triple B and E challenge. So sometime before April has been since he's taken a metformin, and his blood sugars have been in between the 100s and the 140s.
That's amazing. Could you explain to everybody on here, because he was on a very high dose, right? and the dangers of being on that high of a dosage, and just how awesome it is that he's off of it now, just
Oh,
from
the
weak.
metformin?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So usually if you have a high blood sugar but not where he was, I think that the normal amount is 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day, depending on what your doctor puts you on and how controlled your blood sugar is. Because his was so high, he was taking 2,000 milligrams a day. And when you take that much metformin, it causes some serious bathroom problems. And it can also cause, he gets severe indigestion too. And so, I mean, he was just not a healthy man. He wasn't happy. He was just sick inside, and if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, now if I could just get him to get out and walk with me, he doesn't want to. He's lazy.
Oh, that sounds like somebody else I know. Larry, he does not like exercise. He doesn't.
Yeah.
So, but he is definitely determined now
Mm-hmm.
that we started this walking challenge, and he and I discussed it. We're like, look, we don't stop. We did last year. We don't stop. We just keep going, you know. So maybe there is hope. Maybe he'll get a little more inspiration from Larry, and maybe y'all could put out like a video with exercise. Why exercise is so important,
Mm-hmm.
but why exercise is so important. And if you all do that together, maybe it'll get him thinking. You never know. Never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I did watch your all's video yesterday, the mistakes you learned. And I was like, hey, you should watch this video, because that little bout with Larry coming in there and saying, I really do need to exercise and I'm going to try some more. And then there was one other thing he said in the video, and I was like, yeah, you should really watch it.
Well, it's like with anything. When somebody's ready to do it, they're going to do it. So his time will come. He will. I'm sure he's got to see some sort of inspiration from all the walking videos. And, if he's anything like me, I mean, I hate exercise too. Not so much anymore. My mindset is changing slowly.
Right.
But
That's where I am.
yeah, I would see people running or walking outside, and I always thought, good for you. Gosh, I want to be like that person. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
hiking in the mountains. I want to do this, and I want to be active. And, you know, in spite of how badly I wanted to do it, my mind's like, no, no, you're not going to do it. My
Uh-huh.
body's like, no, we're just going to sit here on this couch. It's very comfy here. So sometimes you just got to get out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he was walking with me for a little bit, but he says walking is really boring. And I get that. And I told him, I said, you're more than welcome to work out with me. He's, of course, about his accident. His arms aren't 100%, but, I was like, you can always pick up my 3-pound dumbbells and, do something,
Mm-hmm.
and he just, I don't know. He just doesn't have it in his mindset yet. And I'm hoping that I will inspire him myself by everything I've been doing, because I've got it already in my mindset that results aren't going to happen overnight, and I need to help my body get healthy. And I'm not going to, okay, yeah, eating carnivore is good, and getting your meat and fats in and stuff like that, but you still got to move your body.
Yep.
That's beneficial to your health, but he's got it in the mindset. See, at the beginning, when we started keto, we were told, oh yeah, you can do keto and you don't have to exercise and you'll still lose weight. That's where his mind is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you don't have to exercise. I'm like, actually, you do. So, but Dr. Kiltz, what was it? I think Dr. Kiltz said, don't exercise, or one of them said exercise and the other one said don't. I can't remember which two doctors it was. But I'm like, oh, it's so confusing. But I'm going to do it anyway because it makes me feel good.
That's right. Well, I know that there are studies out there, at least for women, when it comes to just walking, how it strengthens our bones.
Yeah.
Because osteoporosis as we age, I mean, that's a real issue, and brittle bones, and that's where you get broken hips. So no, people are right. You don't have to exercise to lose weight. That's so true. I mean, it's evident. You look at all of these success stories, but in order for you to live your best life and be your healthiest, there's got to be some movement in there. And you and I,
Yeah.
before the live, we were just talking about this, the contradictions with one doctor says this, another doctor says that, and it's confusing. And our conclusion was you have to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's like the old saying, a body at rest stays at rest,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So let's get in the comments a little bit and say good morning to every lovely person who has joined us. So we have Miss Joyce Butler. I don't know if she's still in here. Thank you, Joyce. Good morning. Miss Angie Sings. And we have Michelle. And oh, look, Carnivore Quest is in here. We have Miss
hey,
Ellen. Mama Bear Lynette. So good to see you. Sherry on a low carb journey. We got Harley Mama. And Terry, Miss Sarah, good morning. Good morning. Eastwood, hello. Hello, everybody. It's so good to Miss Liz. Nice to see you. Max Apple, what's up, ma'am? Keto Simple, hello. And Kelly, good morning to everybody. Miss Jenny Adams, I see you too. So thanks for joining us today, guys. This is super cool. Super
yeah.
cool. Yeah, one thing that we were also looking to bring up was fasting
Hmm.
and well, fasting with women. And here we go. We're going to go on this. There is information on both ends of the spectrum, and we don't exactly know what to do, but also each person, there's individuality that we have to take into account. Like for me, I have Hashimoto's, right?
Hmm.
And for a lot of women who, whether they're perimenopause, they're in menopause or postmenopausal as well, there's conflicting information out there, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to sift through all of it. But you and I, we talked about you just have to do, again, you have to do what's best for you. You have to listen to your body, take
Hmm.
what you need and leave the rest. But yeah, some of the information that I brought that I managed to look up, because there's just so much. I mean, popular intermittent fasting methods for women. Now, the good majority of them that I managed to find say the 16-8 method is
Hmm.
best. The extended fasting. It's just too hard on your system.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of different information out there. I was just going to start pulling it up, but I thought, you know what? Who really knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Who really knows? I mean, who are they testing, and what is their metabolic health like? I mean, it's just too hard. I am not a fan of fasting. I am a fan of autophagy, however, and
Yes.
I think you can get that from exercise.
Hmm.
One thing I'd like to know, but again, I go on the internet and there's going to be both ends of the spectrum, and there's going to be information all throughout there saying different things about autophagy. If you exercise for an hour, you get to this level of autophagy. But
Hmm.
it is what it is, and I think it's just so hard sometimes. It makes it so hard with all these experts out there, and they all have different opinions.
Hmm.
But they don't know me. They don't know
Yeah.
you, and they don't know Dan or anybody else for that matter.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I don't know. It's just kind of crazy for sure. But we have a little guest. She escaped, little Rosie. I guess
Miss
she's just.
Rosie.
I think
Oh,
she's just
hi,
gonna
baby.
hold. She is a sweet kitty. She just likes
We
to
get
be
to,
held.
the
Do
whole
you have any
community
animals?
watch her grow. I do have two Labradors and I have one bird.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
What kind of bird?
He is a Jardine parrot.
Oh, does
Yeah.
does does he speak, or is this like?
No, he just mimics sounds a lot. Like he'll mimic a microwave beeping, a car alarm, the tweet sound.
Really?
Uh, huh?
I said, really? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm cutting in and out. But people say not to speak over you, but us being
oh,
women,
no, you're
sometimes
fine.
we do that.
But yeah, that's all he really does. He doesn't talk because he's a small parrot. He's probably a little smaller than a dove.
Oh,
Yeah, but he's beautiful. He's this beautiful green color, and He's kind of a jerk.
Well, isn't that all animals? They
Yeah.
can all be jerks in some way, shape, or form, especially this little girl. Having to carry her around like a baby, or she's just going to keep climbing over everything and bothering me. That's how she
But yeah,
rolls.
back to the fasting thing. So really with me, I just eat when I'm hungry, but I try to keep my eating window, and it probably between noon and 6. I try to eat before 6 p.m. because if I do eat after 6, even if I go to bed at 10:30, I will have indigestion. So I try to keep my eating window, probably more between noon and 5 p.m. But
Okay.
originally I break my fast every morning with a cup of coffee because I have butter in it.
Yeah. I got you, Mo. Larry's in here. He's getting the kitty. Let's bring up a comment from, because this is right along with what you're saying, from Miss Ellen. Ellen has all she agrees. Intuitive
Yes.
eating. Eat when you're hungry. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of doctors are saying too. I think Dr. Barry even said that one time. Eat when you're hungry.
Yep.
And that's
There's
what
a
I do.
reason for that. Your body's hungry, and
Mm-hmm.
if the steak looks good and the bacon looks good, well, then
Mm-hmm.
your body needs something. And I truly believe that, like, along with the intuitive eating, there are times that eggs don't even appeal to me,
Right.
or bacon. My body wants steak or beef, and there's a reason
Mm-hmm.
for that. Our body's smart. It knows what it needs, and it's going to tell us what it needs. Now, sometimes you have to decipher what that may be, because that cupcake, that's not,
Yes.
no, our body needs nothing from that. Nothing at all. Those are the old habits, the old man coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, eat when you're hungry.
Exactly. And the thing is like I tell people, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
Give it time. You will get there eventually. I mean, like I said, it didn't happen overnight for me. Like this whole month of triple B&E, I never hit that wall of doom. And what's today? Today's the 23rd. And I'm still going strong, man. I just give me the meat. Give me all the meat. Just feed me. I've just been eating all of it. Let's see.
Technical
Oh,
difficulties.
very good.
Okay, you're back. Welcome back. If you want to just rewind like 5
Oh,
seconds. Yeah. You cut out for a minute. You were talking about it, and as soon as you started speaking, it cut out. So
okay. Where did I leave off?
I think we were talking about we were talking about intuitive eating and what your body needs.
Oh, I was saying trust the process.
Trust the process. Yep.
Trust the process. It did not happen for me overnight. So any of you that are the beginning of this journey, see, we're going into our 8th month now, my husband and I, on our journey. And like I said, we started out KETOVORE from January, February, and March. April, we went triple B&E, and we've been carnivore ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I just trust the process. You will, even if you are doing KETOVORE, you are going to start to feel better. But honestly, we did not feel like we were getting the full benefits until we went straight carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
And now my body you can just tell how good you feel. And stay off that damn scale. Stay off
Right?
it. Just if
Scale.
and if you feel like it, weigh yourself once a month. I did weigh myself recently because, okay, if there's any men in here, I apologize right now. But so until last night, I was 9 days late, but that's part of the perimenopause process. And I had, because I was feeling really bloated and everything. And I'm like, what is going on here? And so I had stepped on the scale. And when I had stepped on the scale before the beginning of this challenge, I had gained 2 pounds. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to blame it on what's going on right now. And we'll just give it at that. So I'm staying off the scale till the end of the challenge at the end of the month, which, everything should be copacetic by then. And we'll see if I've lost anything. But even if you don't lose anything, pay attention to how your clothes feel. Pay attention to how you feel.
Right.
I've been taking waist measurements once a month. So I don't always go by the scale, because women and our hormones and everything going on, it's going to be going up and down all the time. And it's just going to piss you off.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
you just got to trust it. And,
the scale isn't the be all end all. I think people use that as the measurement for success. Oh, well, I've lost X amount of pounds, or I haven't lost, so I'm not doing well. But a lot of times our body is battling, battling disease that we don't know about. Okay, I'm not sure. Not everybody is. Not everybody. Sorry, that little Rosie, she's a turd. But yeah, not everybody's the same, and not everybody goes to the doctor regularly. So there are things going on that you don't know about. And yeah, you're right. Trust the process. I always tell people, be patient. You didn't get to the point that you're at overnight, and it's not going to change overnight. It's taken us a lifetime to get sick.
Exactly.
It could take us a lifetime to heal. So the pounds of weight that we're carrying around, it's body composition, and like you said, with hormones, I mean, there's just no telling, and there's no gauge. So there's one person, there was a comment yesterday, in fact, she's been carnivore for a year and a half, reversed all of her ailments, and she feels great, yet she hasn't lost a pound. And she said, I'm so frustrated. But and that's where playing around with your food comes into play.
Yeah.
More fat, less fat, more protein, less protein, maybe a different length of intermittent fasting, or no intermittent fasting at all. Some people, like for Larry and I, we were OMAD, and it just didn't work well. We kept thinking, well, surely, our body should be living off of all the excess fat that we have. And it wasn't. We were just stagnant, up a pound, down a pound. There was 3, 4, 5 pounds that, and getting on the scale regularly, it became frustrating. So I don't get on that scale regularly. These are my meticulous notes. I keep measurements on Post-it notes with some passwords. I don't know. Are you a journaler? Do you keep track of anything like a diary? Do you do that? Or is it just like, what, I'm just going to go by how I feel?
I just go by how I feel. I don't keep track of anything. Now, I do have, I don't know if you caught my last video where I did the measurement, and I have this poster board hanging on the wall behind my bedroom door. And I have this string, a jute string that I measure my belly with, and then I hang it up. And each month I've, they've just been getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So that's how I keep track.
That idea. You could even make a craft out of that.
Probably.
Right? Like a diagonal wall hanging or something.
Yeah, something. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I keep track by measuring my belly, because it's not always going to be the scale.
Right.
Because your weight's going to go up and down all the time, for men and women, but mostly women, because of our stupid hormones and the crap we have to go through. And it's like, come on, menopause, just bring it. I'm welcoming you. I'm so done with this.
Well,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I always tell my husband, I wish there was a shut-off switch when you're done having kids, just turn it off. It's like, okay, I'm done now. It can go away.
Yeah, anytime. Well, with my story, it was a surgical menopause. So when they found the cancer, they found that my tubes and ovaries were just done. So that was fun. Yeah, so that was instant. I like to call it a violent shove into menopause, because it was rough. It was rough. Yeah. But, I'll tell you what, I'll take those hot flashes every day over that monthly cycle. Any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Yes.
That cycle was a beast. And the older you get, at least for me, the worse it got.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, with another thing that I have noticed that changed. So You know, I asked this question in one of the lives a couple weeks ago, but so I have what's called dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea, do you know what endometriosis is?
I have that as
Okay.
well.
So dysmenorrhea is a form of endometriosis, and basically it's excruciatingly painful periods where it's cramping and burning feeling at the same time, and it radiates all the way through your hips and down your thighs. And I've given I've given birth 3 times naturally, one without medication at all. And I got through those. I mean, I was a soldier the whole time. But let me tell you, there's been times when these periods have put me in tears and just laid me out. And I was just done. And since going carnivore, that has definitely improved.
Awesome.
The painful periods. So for any of you ladies out there, if you suffer from this, keep going. It really does work. I'm telling you. It's just you have no idea how much this is healing my body. And the changes I've noticed. Okay, yeah, weight loss is definitely a bonus, and that will come eventually. And like Leah says, you know, take your vitamin P, your vitamin patience, and just trust it. You know, you just got to trust it, and believe me, you will start to heal. And that's the things I've noticed about my body. It's like being a woman. You know, women go through a lot different things than men do. They don't have to go through the painful periods and the hormone imbalances and things like that. And man, you go carnivore and you'll be thanking me later. Trust me.
No doubt.
It really is.
One thing that, you know, I like to say, and of course, I'd like to be down to my ideal weight. Who doesn't? You know, right now I am at the weight that I was in high school. So I definitely put on a lot of weight my senior year in high school, but I am at that weight currently. But, you know, I always say that even if I don't lose another pound, I just feel better. My outlook on life is better. I'm more active now. And there's a lot to be said about that. And if the weight doesn't come off, which I know it will, you know, sometimes we just have to tighten things up a little bit, like giving up cream. But, you know, it's go by how you feel. And it works faster for others, for some than it does for others. And we just got to keep going. That's all there is to that. I am going to pull up let's see, do we have any questions? Any questions for Miss Amber or myself?
I see a question here for Sherry on a low carb journey. Okay, I don't know how to, I think you have to pull them up, right?
I do. I'm not. All right, let me find this. Ah, boom. Okay. Speaking of menopause, did anyone experience plantar fasciitis due to menopause? I'm wondering if that's my issue. Not this girl. How about you?
No.
No? I didn't know that the two were correlated. I didn't know that.
But if you go to fitfill.com, I'm actually wearing the shoes right now. They sent me a free pair of shoes to review, and they have shoes for anything that ails you. If you have a diabetic neuropathy, if you have low arches, if you have hammer toe, if you have bunions, plantar fasciitis, anything, and use my code AD30 for 30% off.
Okay. Ooh,
yeah.
I'm always on the hunt for some good shoes or insoles. I mean, it's just hard. My feet, you know, and it's like the older I get, the worse it gets, especially if you're on your feet for a long time.
Well, I have the ones for wide because they have a wide toe box. And so if you need a wide foot or extra wide, they have anything. And they have sandals, flip-flops, work shoes, walking shoes, running shoes, anything you need.
Okay.
Any kind of shoe. And I've been wearing these shoes. I've been walking every day in them. And I could wear them all day long. They're so comfortable.
Well, there you go, y'all. You're looking for some good shoes, get a nice little discount. Check it out.
Check them out.
Yeah. So chapstick drama says, I love the string idea. I have yarn I don't use. Well, there you go. I
There
make
you
a
go.
cross.
Yeah. So I have a poster board on the wall, and I, tape the top of it. I write the date that I did it, and then I bring it all the way down. I stretch it, and then I tape the bottom part. And then I about an inch apart, I have them all on there. And yeah. So also I found Dan and I, when we started our journey, we wrote down our measurements. And when we first started, my waist measured at 48 inches. And when I just measured this last one, it was 43 and a quarter. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So just a little push nudge there for y'all, keep going, because it's really, you just trust the process.
See, and that's crazy because for me now, I'm looking at mine, and this is that was since April. Is that when you started taking measurements, or when you started
Since
years ago?
January.
Since January.
Yeah.
Wow. You lost 5 inches. That's crazy because now this is only since the beginning of March, but I have only lost 1 inch around my belly area.
Oh my,
Everything
no
else,
way, because you don't look it.
my waist is different. My belly is, that's always my midsection. That's my problem area. It's only 1 inch, but everywhere
Huh.
else I've lost, like at last check is like 15 inches, around my arms, everywhere else. But that belly for me, now maybe that's because I had experienced so much trauma in my abdomen. I had surgery twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, intestines removed a year apart with those surgeries. So I don't know if that has something to do with them. There's a lot of healing that needs to still be
Yeah.
going on. Maybe, but that was a little disappointing for me because that is my biggest problem area and I hate it so much. But yeah, good for you. Wow, 5 inches. You got to feel so much better, easier to bend over, put on your shoes, and exercise.
Uh-huh.
Everything's got to be so much easier. 5 inches. That's like that, mama.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That is a
I mean,
lot.
I
Good
was
for
looking at old pictures of me, and I was like, man, I always looked pregnant. My belly was always just bulbous. And I always looked like I was probably, 6 months pregnant. And
you.
like now I look in the mirror and it's just like all floppy and everything, but it's like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
And
Because
that's something we were discussing earlier too, was saggy skin, right?
mm-hmm.
It is what it is. That's
Yeah.
kind of the conclusion we came to. It's just you have to deal with it. It's nobody likes it, and the older we get, the more crepey and wrinkly it's going to be. But you know what? Who cares? Nobody's going to see my belly. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
is going to see the back of my thighs or anything else for that matter. It's
Right.
only me and Larry. So I don't care about that. And
Yeah. I'm
it
not
is what
trying
it
to go be a model or impress anybody.
is.
So
I mean, it's just a side effect, I guess you could say. It's a side effect of all that weight loss. But that's why I'm telling all the young people, do it now because
mm-hmm.
they won't experience it as badly. And yeah, fasting is supposed to help that out, but I think that's going to take years
Mm-hmm.
for some improvement, and it's not all going to go away. It's never going to go away. I mean, I think surgery is the only thing that's going to happen with that, and that is not on my agenda. I not anytime soon, and maybe not ever.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, we've got super chat from T Bear. I got plantar fatty itis. This will hurt really bad if any carbs sneak in. Isn't that the truth? Thanks, T Bear. I love
Yes.
you.
And that's another thing too. If I, go off and like have like anything with carbs in it, I feel it. I definitely feel it the next day. And, even if it's just a one small little thing, it still affects me. I have to
Yeah.
be careful what I eat now.
Isn't that so weird where we didn't have to worry about that before
Mm-hmm.
while eating sad? I mean, we just always felt crappy. I guess we never
Yeah.
experienced it. We were always tired and, just out of it. And now it's like you just let something that you probably should. Well, for me, I mean, my biggest thing is still the cream. Now, mind you, I have reduced it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have, and when I say cream, I'm mostly half and half with butter. So I've greatly reduced it, but my fingers feel like sausages. If I have like two
Yeah.
cups, they feel so inflamed, and they look and feel like sausages. I'm like, this is just from cream, which is carnivore friendly, right? Because it's an animal byproduct. But yeah, it's just crazy how we're
Mm-hmm.
finding how much food affects us. One
Yeah.
thing that we were talking about in that live stream with Friday night with Chafee, oh, this guy, he's really got me reeling here. I've been just thinking about things and like, man, I really need to make some changes for optimal, for my optimal health. And we're talking about garlic because I've never read a report. I've never seen anything
Yeah.
bad
I
from
remember. I
garlic.
remember this. Mm-hmm.
And I've not. And the only answer he came up with, and I know they can be a little carby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was, well, it tastes, it has a pungent smell and flavor. So, your body must not like it. I don't know. I cook it and I could eat a whole head.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes nothing like that. But my
Oh,
dad, he
garlic.
would eat garlic cloves whole, and that man was never sick. And he's still a relatively healthy man. So,
Who is?
again, my father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's just where we can go back to, there's information on all sides of the spectrum, and you just have to find out what's working best for you by trial and error.
Yeah. Sherry says, Larry, can you post that shoe code and brand? So.
Yeah, we can get him on that. Let's see what Mr. Ocon Dragon. Did you change your name again? I thought you were the carnivore police. Walking is a good start. Does your daily meals look like? Why don't you go ahead and take that one, Amber?
So I get up in the morning, and that's another thing I've been doing too, is I usually, when I get up in the morning, I go to the coffee right away.
Mhm.
But instead of doing that, I've been getting up, filling up my water bottle, getting dressed, and going out for my walk. I don't have my coffee until I get back from my walk. But usually I start with coffee in the morning, and then I don't eat till about 11:30-ish, and it can be anywhere from bacon. We call them Berber burgers because my nieces and nephews call me Berber. They've called me Berber since they were little. When they learned how to talk, they couldn't say Aunt Amber, so it was Berber. So I've been Berber for 30 years now. But we'll make Berber burgers where it's just 2 beef patties, and then we put bacon in between it, and just, basically a bacon burger. And you can add a slice of cheese if you want. Occasionally I will add a slice of Swiss cheese, but I have pretty much cut the cheese because that's what's been making me stall and makes me feel bloated. So I just don't do dairy at all. The only dairy I have is the butter in my coffee. That's it. And then dinner time, we usually eat around 11:30 noon, and then we'll have dinner anytime between 4 and 6 p.m. And last couple of nights, we've been grilling a chuck roast, which has been really good. I'll grill it for about an hour and a half, and then I throw it in the pressure cooker to kind of tenderize it a little bit more. And but we have anything from ground beef bowl, ribeye, chuck roast. Sometimes we'll eat Berber burgers 2-3 times a day. Just depends on our appetite. But that's mostly what we eat. How about you, Cassie?
I guess it depends on the day. Like yesterday, I made some, I like to call them stuffed eggs, deviled eggs, whatever. It's a twist on Sean's recipe. I mean, I don't even, or Sean's wife's recipe, Sean Intentional Carnivore Beth.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not even a recipe. It's just simple, right? But it's your egg yolk. I put a lot of bacon in there, butter, and bacon grease. I added bacon grease, and that adds a
Okay.
little more creaminess and a little more flavor to it. And sorry, I'm reading a comment.
I saw that too.
So yeah, and then so we had that, and then last night we had some more eggs and steak. Now I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a Denver cut is.
God, yes, I've seen those before, but we don't get those here in California.
What? So
Yes.
maybe it's named something else because it depends on where you live, where it could be like chuck eye. That is
Mhm.
from the chuck roast, is the eye of the steak. Denver also comes off of the chuck. So
Okay.
it's going to be, a lot of people will call it like a poor man's ribeye is your chuck eye,
Mhm.
and I like to call it a poor man's strip because it's an awful lot like a New York strip. And if you find
I
some
was
great
just,
marbling,
yeah.
yeah, it's going to be amazing. So if y'all can find that Denver cut, and if you like a New York strip and you cook it the same way, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I'm going to pull up a super chat here from Miss Angie Sings. Thank you so much, Mama. Appreciate that. Angie says, Dr. Berry is right about fasting and autophagy. I have been losing skin and found my 67-year-old hip bones. Oh, isn't that lovely?
That's
Well,
awesome.
yeah, congratulations on that. I've not seen my hip bones. I got the collarbones going on. I'm happy about that. I never knew that I had them at all, ever. But yeah, good for you, Mama. Good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I wonder how long you are fasting. And at 67, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably postmenopause or maybe still going through it. Depends on how late you started. But so how often you're fasting, if it's just intermittent fasting or whatnot, maybe you can give us a little answer on that one. But thank you, Angie. Certainly appreciate that. And let's see. We also had, now this is the one that truly made me laugh. laugh. Okay.
Yeah.
So release Rosie. Oh, I think she's just going to be a regular rotation on our channel. She's just too cute not to share. I love that little girl. Miss Rosie. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see. T Bear, he has I cut the cheese. Yep. I love it. I love cheese so much. Like Chris Cooking Nashville has that carnivore pizza, right? And I'd like to try his chicken crust. It's like,
Hmm.
but it's like I'm going to add all that cheese. I know it's going to make me overeat. I will eat way more than I should because it tastes
Yeah.
good. Those old habits die hard. That's why simple is best. I think all of these recipes out there, and there's a lot of them,
Uh-huh.
I think they're amazing. I do. I think they're a great alternative when you want a cheat meal. It's
Hmm.
easy enough to slip into that without killing your efforts and taking days and days or a week to recover.
Uh-huh.
And it possibly could cause also people to maybe have an avalanche. But that's the thing of it. You just got to be careful with. But I think they're lovely, and there
Hmm.
is nothing more than I want than to try that carnivore pizza. And I'm thinking August. Yeah, I think I'm gonna allow that and give that a try. But yeah, that cheese, I'll tell you, I know what it's going to do to me as
Yeah.
far as inflammation, but what it's going to do to me, like, I don't know how it's going to affect me. I haven't had cheese in a while. We did lion last month, not so well, but we did mostly lion, and I will probably never do that again. Just beef and salt is it's too restrictive, way too restrictive. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I haven't had cheese in a really long time, and I really miss it. And I know it's going to affect me, but sometimes it's okay. It's like when
Yes.
you know what you're up against, you know what you're going to deal with. So you know,
Well, I was so it's summertime, and of course in summertime you crave something cold
yep.
and sweet to eat. So I made up this little thing I was doing, but I felt like it was contributing to my stall. But if I ever get the craving for it, I'll probably do it again, just to have a little bit. But what I did was I took heavy cream and I whipped it up and made whipped cream. But I added this last one. I added a teaspoon of cake batter flavored extract and just a little squirt of stevia in there just to give it a little bit of sweet. And it was like eating ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just put like a little third cup in a bowl, and it's usually at night when I get those cravings, and that's why I've been making myself go to bed earlier too, so I don't get the snackies. Because if I get the snackies and it screws up my whole, fasting and everything, because I try to fast as long as I can. But yeah, I'll just do that. If I'm craving ice cream, I have heavy whipping cream in the fridge for that reason.
Yeah. And, well, you know what? I think there's a lot to that. That is a great alternative,
Mm-hmm.
even better than like the Revel or the Halo
Yeah.
or any of those low carb with ingredients that I couldn't even attempt to pronounce, let
Mm-hmm.
alone try to attempt to understand their origin. But
Yeah.
um, that is a great alternative right now. Like I said, that's not me. I know I've experienced Kelly Hogan's Oopsie Cake, and
How is that?
it's good. It is good, but keep in mind there's a lot of heavy cream with the frosting because you want it to
Uh-huh.
be a little. I think I've added peppermint to it. And at one time, because I made a few of them for the recipe video, I made it like 3 times, and then including for dessert on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that old habits die hard. Now it is good
Yeah.
texturally, it's really good, but a little slice here, little slice there. I ended up having to throw it in the garbage because the first one, because I would have had the whole thing myself. Old
Yeah.
habits die hard. I am not very good when it comes to control when it comes to that. So I would love to try the ice cream sometime. It's just I don't think I'm there yet. For me, I know me, but
Yeah.
that's me, That is
Yeah, Dr.
absolutely.
Kiltz has a carnivore ice cream recipe, but I don't have any means to make ice cream. I don't have like a machine. I wanted the Ninja Creamy for so long, but then I was like, what am I going to make? I mean, I don't do dairy. So, but I'm telling you, try that whipped cream alternative. I mean, it's, it just really, you're getting your fat in. I mean, even if you've cut out the dairy every once in a while, if you have to, feed that craving, I think that's the best way to do it, because those Rebel ice creams, after a while, they started to get way too sweet,
Mhm.
to the point where it was like you felt like you were eating the real thing. And, not that long ago, I was craving a Coke Zero.
Really.
And yeah, because we're Coke people. We love it. And I was craving a Coke Zero, and I bought one of those little 20-ounce bottles at the convenience store, and I took one sip, and I was like, oh my God, this is too sweet.
Mhm.
I couldn't drink it. So, anything sweet to me nowadays is just too much.
So do you think, because I've asked myself this question, or I've wondered this, do you think that it's just because we're restricting our taste buds to just simple foods now?
Mm-hmm.
If if things taste sweeter now because our taste buds have been stripped down,
Right.
or if they are adding more sweetener to it, that's I wonder about that, because there have been other times when I've had things like that. It's like with the heavy cream, right? You can taste the sweetness. We can, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's on standard American diet, they're not going to taste that sweetness at all.
Right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's bland. It's just cream. It just tastes like cream. But for us, I mean, it's sweet enough, and I don't think anything else is needed. But that's one thing.
Right.
It's really weird how that works out, and that's what I'm thinking. But let's see. I do have. We've got a release Rosie campaign. Oh, well, we have to bring her out, Larry. I know you're out there. If you could kindly bring in Miss Rosie at some point, I would really appreciate that. But Larry has a question for you. Larry wanted me to ask you, what was your first, that if you can remember, the first Carnivore Quest video that you remember laying eyeballs on?
The heavy cream video.
Ah,
That was the one. Yeah, it was when you guys, oh gosh darn it. It was the heavy cream video, but it was the one where you guys found that it was bad for you. It was no more heavy cream.
yep.
Because you found it had carrageenan in it and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then it was just like, you know, the domino effect after that. I just like binge watched your all's channel. And then Dan, Dan was sitting there with me, and it's like, okay, they're just like us.
Yeah.
They've done this, gone through it. They've had the same struggles with the diet and everything like we have. And, and so we really look up to you guys. You guys have been a blessing, and we're so happy we found you because, you not only, have you said that, your followers keep you guys accountable, but you've helped keep us accountable as well. Because it's like, would Larry and Cassie eat that? Would Larry and Cassie do that?
Well, and there's a lot to be said about that. I think the majority of us doing carnivore, we've been overweight, food addicts, tried every single diet. Okay.
Mhm.
And most of us, as unfortunate as it is not going to happen on the first run. Larry and I mean, for criminy sakes, we've had our channel for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we've shown our slips, we've shown our mistakes, and we're everyday carnivores. We're just like everybody else who's in here. Oh yeah, I had a slip. And I think that is the majority of us, and that's why so many can relate to us, because we've had a slip. Now, I don't intend to have anymore. I've never felt stronger on carnivore than I do in this groove right now. I feel
You're
so good.
right.
This is the best that I've ever felt. This is the best I've ever done. Cravings are minimal at best. I mean,
Right.
it's not even a thing anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss food. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we turn to. I mean, if we were going to go to a family gathering or something, at least for me, one of the things I looked forward to most was not seeing my family. It was like, what's going to be on that table? And I'm going to stand around that table and graze all day long because my taste buds want it. It's,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's who we are. And that's who you are. That's who most of us are. And, yeah, I'd have to say roughly 90% of us are that way. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. Food is
It
hard.
is.
It's unlike any other addiction out there. Drugs, you can kick drugs. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but they can be
Right.
kicked.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessary for a living, like food. You don't
Mm-hmm.
eat, you're going to die, right? So, I mean, and not to mention that there's fast food restaurants on every stinking corner, every single town you go into, they all look the same. Cookie cutter towns. There's a McDonald's, a Burger King, a
Yes.
pizza joint, a Starbucks on three corners, within a mile of each other. And
Oh
it,
yeah, we
it,
have 3 of them.
it's just insane. They just pop up everywhere because and nobody wants to cook anymore. So they're feeding off of that too. These
Yeah.
lab created foods to keep us sick. Don't get me started.
Oh yeah.
I can get real mad about this. And, I'd really like to start a campaign with, like, for example, Philip Morris, the manufacturer of Marlboro cigarettes, I believe, or Winston, maybe one of them. They own Kraft Foods.
Really?
Yes, they do. There is a very deep rabbit hole now. Who owns Philip Morris? There's like 8 major corporations. They're just all together now. I'm not sure of the exact terminology for it, but they, like, who is it, Blackwater or something like that? They own like almost everything, and they
Mm-hmm.
have control over everything. But yes, so they own Kraft Foods. So cigarettes are more difficult for a lot of people to quit now
Mm-hmm.
because the cigarette companies are adding more addictive properties to, I don't know if it's the paper or whatnot. I could certainly go into a deep dive, but I know the basics of it. And so are these food companies, right? I don't even call that
Yeah.
food anymore. It's just junk. So they're lab created foods. They're created to keep us addicted, and have us crave more. They do everything from, mouthfeel to texture to flavor, and they do all these crazy studies. But yeah, so that's what we're up against. We're up
Mm-hmm.
against that. We're up against a lifetime of the powers that be manipulating food and trying to keep us addicted so we can then go into the medical industry and be
Mm-hmm.
their customers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then just they're going to drain us for everything that we have, and then we
Mm-hmm.
die. On to the next, and it's getting much worse for the upcoming generations. That's why we as carnivores, we've got to nip it in the butt, and we've got to
Yeah.
get like the channel. We all have, I think everybody in this group chat start a channel. No, but get the word out. I mean, the word needs to be out. And, I'm always
Exactly.
preaching to the kids, and like you're raising your young man right now. He sees you walking, he sees what you and Dan had went through, and that's going to have a major impact. And now he sees your healing. So,
Hmm.
and he's going to take that with him. Now he may not always be perfect, but the foundation is definitely being built.
Yeah. And he's even, so he's 15, and we try really hard to, you know, introduce him to the diet. And there's a lot of things he will eat. Um, but, like little Larry, we buy him his bread for his sandwiches and his toast, and, you know, and things like that. So, I'm not going to force it on him, but the option is there.
Yeah.
And, and at the end of the day, we are on a very, very strict budget in my house. So, we can't afford uh, to feed all three of us all that meat. So, we do what we can. Like, he's got cans of tuna, he's got chicken, things like that he can eat. We stay mostly strict to beef, and if we make hamburger patties, he'll make his with a hamburger bun, and I mean, like I said, we try, we don't force it on him, but he does what he can, but it's hard being a parent and having your child, you know, trying to tell them, because, they know everything.
Of
And,
course they do.
but he actually only has one functioning kidney. So, we try harder to, push the at least the keto diet onto him.
Yeah.
Even the keto stuff, my God, like the one carb bread and all that stuff is like $6 a loaf now. And, we try to do the low carb tortillas for him, and those are almost $5 for a little 10 pack. And, it's just, ugh.
Well, beside the expense of these keto foods, it's what is in them? What is in them? What's in the keto foods? That's making them last for as a million years or
Yeah.
anything like that. Their ingredients, I don't trust them at all.
Mhm.
But yeah, I get it. Little Larry, he's the same. He's a teenage boy, and they're gonna eat the way they want to eat when they're away from your presence.
Mhm.
So they could eat carnivore keto all day long, but as
Mhm.
soon as they leave and they have a bag of Doritos in their face, doggone well they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
eat.
Yeah,
But
because when he's in school, they walk to there's a grocery store near their high school, and they walk there every day, and his friends will buy them lunch, and they'll buy like bags of Doritos and, Dr. Pepper and all that other stuff. And it's like, I can't stop him. I
right,
can't hang over his shoulder every day and say, you can't eat that. You've got to eat this instead, you know. But we, as parents, we do what we can. We try to influence as much as we can, and hopefully they'll see the light eventually and learn from, where we're at, because we are overweight people. It runs on both sides of of the family, his side and
mm-hmm.
my side.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes runs on both my parents' sides. And so there was no way I was going to escape it. And
Yeah.
I was really shocked when I found out I was diabetic. So, when I did find out, I'm like, you're kidding, right? She says, no, because I think my A1C was 6. Was it, what's the threshold? 6.2 is where I was. And so she put me on this stuff to lower my A1C. I was never on metformin or anything, but I haven't taken that stuff in a few months. I keep getting the Walmart text, it's time to refill your prescription.
Nope. No, it's
Nope,
not. Well,
I'm
like
good.
for with little Larry, he's an adult, and I thankfully I can use that excuse. I am not gonna. I told him it was about a year ago. I said I'm no longer going to buy your poison. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing it. You can eat the meat. You can eat this and that. But once he was 18, I said I'm not contributing to this. This is you. I mean, he was working, right? Or he is working. So I leave that on him. And most of the stuff he keeps in his room, I still try and give him a little push into eating properly, but he's going to listen to whatever he wants to listen to. He's going to do what he wants to do because again,
Yeah.
he's 19 and he knows it all. Oh, well, we have a super chat here from a carnivorish wake up fairy. It says theoretically, if you know your birth time, you can calculate your human design body graph, which will tell you if fasting is good or bad, and which conditions, circumstances are best for your specific body, and so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's interesting. How I would like an explanation that doesn't make any bit of sense to me. Obviously, you know something about it if you put up a super chat about it, and there's something to that. So yeah, if you want to throw it in the comments sometime and just let us know exactly how the time of your birth. I don't know if you're following like astrology charts or anything like that, but I've not heard of anything like that before. Have you, Amber?
No, I have never heard of anything like that.
Well, she did say theoretically. But you know human design body graph, is that a company? Or she says it'll blow your mind. Perhaps, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing an awful lot of things like a term that I've not been familiar with, a DEXA scan. So I went to go visit a friend the other day, and I hadn't seen her in some time. She looks really great. I mean, she couldn't believe, my results, because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't seen her in about 6 months. And she looked really good. She's lost 30 pounds. I said, okay, so what are you doing? And she said, PhD. I was like, okay, my girl, we're doing PhD. And it ended up being, um, it's a weight loss clinic. And she says, oh, well, they wanted me to add fat to my coffee, and it comes from a packet. I'm like, okay, I'm really interested about this. So part of me now, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I thought, wouldn't that be fun to do like an expose and see what's really going on? And they're talking about this DEXA scan,
Mm-hmm.
which basically, from my understanding, they shoot radiation into your bones. And
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't know. I'd rather not have radiation being shot into my bones just to see how well my body is performing or how well it
Yeah.
absorbs minerals and whatnot. I don't know. There people are so many companies are jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, they always have. The weight loss is a multi-billion-dollar industry,
Yeah.
and now they're gonna sink their hooks into the carnivore or the low carb space. And yeah, that's just insane. But thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate it. And if you want to send us a little more information on that, and
Yeah.
go ahead and send it to our email if you like, carnivore.quest@gmail.com, or you can certainly put it in the comment section here. But Larry has a question for you. We're going to have to get going pretty soon. We got a few more minutes, but he'll kill me if I don't ask you this question. Oh, no, that was the question. There's mental clarity. Oh, my gosh. Good
If Larry,
morning.
if you guys can post, highlight this one at 8:08. I put the website and the code because a couple people were asking for it
Oh,
again.
he said it's in the description.
Oh,
It's
okay.
already in the description of this video. So if anybody
Okay.
wants to check that out. And yeah. So, here's something about the DEXA scan. I've had a DEXA scan. It was horrifying to see all the fat. Well,
Ooh.
yeah, that is not pleasant to see, but and when we see it on the outside, it's going to be there on the inside. But yeah, I don't know if you're still getting them, Kelly, or what the purpose of that is. Again, people are just trying to find any way, shape, or form to get your dollars out of your pocket into their
Mm-hmm.
bank account, in the name of health. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I love about carnivore It's none of it's necessary. There's no subscription. There are no pills. You don't have to go to coaching sessions. It,
Exactly.
it's not it's not necessary. And that is the best thing about this. And that's when I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm not selling anything. This is
Hmm.
free. Just go find the information. It's out there.
Exactly.
Eat your meat, drink your water. You want a little bit of coffee, go for it. If you have to, if you're still, drinking stevia or like you said, the Diet Coke or whatever, have it. Eventually, you're going to take that next step and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to eliminate this. Whether that takes you 6 months or a year, be patient. There we go
Hmm.
back to the patience, right? Some vitamin
Yeah.
P, right? Miss Aaliyah, and I saw her in here. Hello, hello, my darlings.
Hi. Yeah, I did see her, and Kip's in here too.
Oh, well, I'm glad you stopped in. Happy swimming today. It was good to see you. Yeah, Kip's in here too, Mr. Kip. I see. Hey, Kip. Have a
Yeah, he's
great
about
Sunday.
to have a smoking competition with Carrie from Homestead How.
Oh, wow. Is that going to be like a 12-hour live stream?
I don't know.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
that'll be interesting. I wish I
I
was there
will.
to eat that meat.
Yeah, well, that would be really nice. That would be most awesome. Thank you, Kip. Hit that like button for Cassie and Amber. Appreciate that. Kip, I hope you win. That's all I can say. You're my favorite competitor, hands down. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I like Kip. Kip is a real good dude. Chris Cooking Nashville says, "Eat your meat, love your life. It's that easy." Absolutely.
Exactly, Chris. That's what I've been saying. Just, be positive, wake up every day, and I'm blessed every day that, that God gave me another day to wake up. And, the whole thing with this channel, is like, we're trying to, you know, have people follow us on our journey too, because I know there's people out there just like us, just like
Yep.
you and Larry,
Yep.
that have had the same struggles and gone through the same thing. We've had our slip ups. We've, messed up here and there. But at the end of the day, you eat your meat and lift heavy things and
Yep.
just get out and do the thing. Do whatever even if you can only walk half a mile, if you can only walk 10 minutes, if you can only walk to the end of your driveway and back, that's something.
Yep.
And then every single day you just go a little bit further, a foot further, whatever you have to do. Just get up and do the thing, move your body, because that's,
And
in my opinion, I think that's the best thing.
you're right. And the changes they will occur naturally. You're
Yeah.
going to find yourself stepping it up because you're going to have more determination and more motivation to do it. Well, I did this, so now I can do that. And
Mhm.
it starts with a single step. Same with the diet. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to slip, you're going to fall, you're going to recover. And that's
Mhm.
what we've all done. I think that's the biggest difference with carnivore than any other diet. You recover a lot easier from a
Yes.
slip. It's harder to slip because you have the mindset. It's like, you know what? Nah, it's just not worth it. I know how it's going to make me feel. And I don't know. I love this way of eating. I don't ever see me, I will never go off of the low carb spectrum. I may lean more clean ketovore after
Mhm.
I'm at an ideal weight, which is still a ways away, but
Yeah.
you know,
The same. Girl, I cannot wait to have avocado again.
oh, give me some guacamole. Chris Cooking Nashville. I want some tortilla chips for a nice guacamole because there is nothing better than that. Or I would just eat it. When I was doing ketovore, I would use that as a replacement for mayonnaise. And I would have my sandwiches. But
Mhm.
yeah, I there's a lot of food I miss and a lot
Yeah.
that I will go to, but I will definitely be very careful because I don't think in South Carolina, strawberries in February are optimal. I think it needs to be seasonal, it needs to be local and as clean as you can find. So you need to find like a good farmer. I don't know. I'm going to be real careful with that. So like when I say ketovore, it will definitely be meat heavy with an occasional
Mhm.
extra treat or vegetable or something when I can get a hold of the good stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny, when I originally started this channel 5 years ago, it was I was doing cooking videos, and it was low carb cooking, low carb, low fat. And little did I know that was not the way to go. And then I went keto, discovered Ashley Salvatore. She was a keto. It was Ashley and Dr. Barry mainly.
Yeah.
And then as you watch Dr. Barry, his channel went from keto to the proper human diet to now just straight carnivore.
Yeah.
And, I mean, coming from a doctor, and it's, my family is so, I wouldn't say against it, but they just, you shouldn't eat so much meat. That's not good for your heart. Well, who told you that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't eat so much fat. You're not going to lose fat by eating fat. Okay. Who told you that? Okay. Because, it's not just Dr. Barry. There are so many other people out there that have done extensive studies and have experienced it and have been doing this for more than a year, 2 years, 10 years of their lives. And the proof is in the egg pudding here, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I feel good. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with my body by what I'm eating. That's the main thing here. It's like, it's how you feel. And you just got to give it time. And it's like, quit telling me that because I'm working out and lifting weights that I need to add some carbs in. No, I don't.
Right.
I feel fine.
You need carbs. You need fiber, right? I mean, you hear that
Yeah.
all the time. Who's telling you that? Philip Morris Company? Seriously.
Right. And it's like, my nephew, he's at the gym twice a day. And he's like, you shouldn't eat so much fat and you need to like throw in some carbs and stuff. And it's like, and I ask him, are you sore after a workout? Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I eat my meat. I'm not sore.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I just increased my weight too. So I'm telling y'all, it's
the way.
It's the way. It's the way to go. If you want to feel good, feel better about yourself, reverse your diseases, heal your body from the inside out, you've got to go carnivore. Yep. That's all there is to it. Eat meat, lift heavy things, and get out and move your body.
And feel good and be grateful for each and every day that we have, right? I'm so thankful we found this way of eating. So we're getting ready to wrap up here. So Amber, if you wouldn't mind, maybe go ahead and plug your channel if you have, or anything else for that matter. Something you would like to close out with. I know I would appreciate it, and so would everybody else.
Just mention my channel.
Well, whatever you do. Well, do you have an upcoming video or a challenge or anything that you have going on?
Actually, yes, we do have an upcoming video. So we're going to do, the whole weigh-in and everything at the end of the challenge, because we're doing triple beanie right now for the month of July. And I actually, I was going to wait and talk about it on my channel, but I still will, but I'll go ahead and say it here. So I signed up for the St. Jude challenge for August to walk 62 miles for the month of August.
I love that.
So and it's funny too, because I was actually going to do an August challenge, and I was going to do a walking challenge. I was going to see if people can do 60 miles in 30 days. If they can do less, that's fine. If they can do more, even better. But, and then I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and this St. Jude's thing came up, and I always support St. Jude's when I'm at the store. Throw $5, $10 in, whatever I can, because you never know when it could be your child or grandchild someday. That's right. And so I decided, hey, this is perfect. So I'll promote this on the channel at the end of the month, and yeah,
that's awesome.
The 62 miles for the month of August.
I love that. Well, we just might have to join you on that one. Yeah. I will let you know. But Amber, I am so thankful, and I had so much fun with you today. We'll have to do this again.
Yes, definitely. I had a lot of fun.
I'll tell you that hour plus, the time just goes by so quickly. There's so many things that we'd like to talk about, or that we could talk about, and there's just not enough time. So we'll have to do this again. And y'all, I just want to thank you for coming in today. One more thing I'd like to plug. On Tuesdays, for those of you who didn't make it to our last one, we are implementing a weekly Tuesday night trivia. We'll have special guests on there coming up as well. We do have somebody, I'm not going to say whom, but we have somebody special coming on this Tuesday. I think we're going to do it at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Perhaps it could change. Look out for the thumbnail, but it's a lot of fun. It's just something a little bit different. And, we're all a family. We like to get together. And as much as I love talking all carnivore all the time, sometimes we just need a little bit something different. So that's so we've got that coming out. So see us on Tuesdays. And again, everybody, I thank you so much for joining us and just listening to Miss Amber and I ramble again, and we'll definitely do this again. So until next time, my friends, no sugar, no carbs, no cheating. I love you, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.